welcome back to episode 74 of The Gift of the Gab.
Welcome.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tia.
And Squid Game Season 2 has been confirmed.
Yes.
Are you excited?
Will you be watching?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a watch, actually. I'm going to watch Squid Game Season 2. I kind of feel sorry for the director because now it's like, where do you go from here?
Yeah.
It was the top streaming show on Netflix. Everyone was talking about it. So I feel like anything you put out is going to be open to criticism now.
Do you know what? Yeah, and I feel like sometimes, like, you know when it's a limited series and, like, it gets picked up and everyone really enjoys it, it's really nice, and then, like, everyone's really excited for Season 2 and you watch Season 2 and it's like, they should have just kept it at Season 1.
Yeah. Limited series really prevail in that sense. Like, if they get it right, it can just be this memorable piece of thing. And that's what Midnight Mass is for me. Great limited series. And I hope Season 2 is good. I don't know why. The main character, actually, I won't say any spoilers. I was about to spoil it.
What?
I don't know why they made the decision they made at the end.
Okay.
I guess to set up for the next season.
Yeah.
But I wanted them to go. I am trying not to.
I mean,
say any
anyone who's
spoilers.
probably listened to this has probably watched Squid Games already, so it wouldn't be.
All right. Spoiler alert here. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't get on the plane. I know why he didn't get on the plane, but he should have got on the plane.
Yeah.
He should have got on the plane, and it would have been interesting to see what that dynamic is, because now he's basically, in my head, he's going to turn into that secret agent who was trying to disrupt the whole game.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've already seen that happen. So I'm hoping that's not the play.
We're going to see. Well, I guess with every series, even though they do say it's limited series or whatever, they do make it so it is possible to continue if they want.
No, well,
or
actually,
some.
with some, yeah. I was about to spoil another series there. But I really do hope the pressure doesn't get to him and he just creates what he wants. Forget about our feelings. Just do what you want. Because we apparently got turned down by, like, for 10 years, Squid Game. He had Squid Game, like, cooked up. He even, like, had to sell his old laptop at one point.
Bless him.
Because, I might be getting this story wrong, but basically he had it for a long time and it wasn't getting picked up. And it finally got picked up and it was this big thing. So just create what you want, because people weren't listening to you before.
And I feel like that's a life lesson in itself.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, like, other people won't believe in you, and it's about believing in yourself and, like, believing in what you believe will happen, taking a chance on yourself, basically.
Yeah, he did.
And just look how successful he became.
Hwang Dong-hyuk is his name. I'm sure our South Korean listeners will correct that. Maybe I got it right. Who knows? And I've just heard that Portugal have a new law.
Yes.
This affects, well, it doesn't affect me because I'm in the UK, but for people like me working from home, they're making it illegal for employers to contact employees after work hours.
I love that.
What do you think about it?
I love that. It depends.
I also think it depends. Like, the instinct in me is like, actually, sorry, I asked you what you think.
Yeah, and then you started talking. Wow. Okay. No, it really does depend, because sometimes you, like, let's say somebody's having a day off, they're sick or whatever, but you really need, like, this certain information. Like, now you have to wait 2 to 3 business days before you can contact that person again.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes it can literally be like 30 seconds worth of information.
Yeah.
So it depends. If it's a big task, then do not contact me. Like, why stress me out about this big task? And I'm at home doing whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing. But if it's a small task, I say, like why not? Not even a small task or small ask. Then why not? Like, where do you keep the pencils?
Yeah, for me, I also agree. It depends. I think they had the right intention because they're trying to ensure that employees have, like, a good home work balance, being that the lines can be so easily blurred. But I think the execution of it depends how they facilitate this law and whether there's exceptions or how how this interaction happens between employers and employees. Because obviously, as an employee, you're like, great. Once I clock out of work, I want to be able to be free and not disturbed. And the employer is like, oh well, sometimes I just need a quick answer, or you're not meant to look at an email, or you're not meant to respond to an email, but responding straight away when it takes 2 seconds could like allow a whole string of tasks to be completed.
Maybe what it means is like you can still send that email if you would like, and if that employee chooses to log on and respond to that email, that's on them, but there's no requirements.
But the wording makes it seem like they're saying it's illegal for employees to even contact you. So not that they should send it in, because right now that's what it is. If you're not in work hours, they can send you an email, but if I'm out of work, I'm out of work. Yeah. And if I don't see it, but they're saying they're making it illegal. And in that case, like I've had a few instances where I'm on holiday, but I need to sign a document so that something else can progress. And I'm just like, just send it to me, text me when you sent it, and then I'll log in from my phone and do it. That way I can just log in and sign it straight away and there's no hold up.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting a whole week for me to just get my signature on something.
Yeah.
So I see it depends. And this also brings me on to my next topic. Have you heard what YouTube is doing with the dislike button?
They're getting rid of it.
Yeah, so they're planning to phase it out. And I feel similarly about it. I don't like it.
Why?
Because, and I watched the video as well, or part of the video from the YouTube person who said, like, basically the other social media sites, they don't have a dislike button if you think about it. And I think, and then I watched the video from MKBHD, Marcus Brownlee, and he mentioned something that resonated with me, that like YouTube isn't just like another social media site, it's a search engine. And like for me as well, I use YouTube for entertainment as well, but a lot of the time, like I use YouTube to learn something, or to like if I'm trying to fix something. And what really helps me is when I click on a video and it has 100 dislikes and it has 5 likes, I instantly just know that, oh, okay, this is not going to be a useful video to me. And he highlighted that in his video, and I was like, yeah, like the dislike button on YouTube is useful to determine some videos, and I can understand why they're doing it, but I don't think it's a good move.
See, I don't care. I don't really be looking at the dislike button. I don't really be looking at the like button. To be honest, it's a button that I probably never clicked before.
That's fair enough.
And I will determine whether I like it from probably the first 30 seconds of the video, or how many views it's got anyways. Like that, I look at more of the views that it's got than anything else.
I think that works for the content maybe you're viewing, because maybe you're not, like if I was, for instance, when my boiler wasn't working and I just wanted to know something specific about the boiler, if I type in a video for that, like all these videos have like 500 views, so I can't really look at the views for that. And sometimes what is like an immediate response is like the dislike button is like, oh, okay, I could watch this, and if there's 100 likes and there's 500 dislikes, I wouldn't know that there's 500 dislikes, but I could watch it thinking like this person has followed the procedure properly, and that there isn't a mistake, because I might not scroll to the comments. I'm just watching the video.
Yeah.
But for me, because I take the like and dislike ratio immediately, like if I'm searching for that type of video, then it's like an immediate indication as to, oh, okay, I can stop and watch this video. Whereas for other entertainment stuff, I'm not really necessarily looking for like, oh, is it disliked? Let me watch the video. If it's an entertainment video, then I just watch it.
The comments alone would just, for me, would tell me that like, oh, this cooking recipe is absolute BS. Like you would there's still a way to get that information without that button. I'm saying
there is a way, but I think there's a way to get the information without that button. Yes, through the comments, but I think it's easier for people to click the button than it is to make a comment. And even I've seen like content creators have been talking more about it, that dislike button acted as sometimes an outlet for people to just express that they didn't like the video, and now you'll get more people who don't like the video feeling that they can't necessarily say that they don't like the video, and then that spews into the comments for them. And that's not necessarily a great thing, because they're saying like their comments are already bad. You get rid of the dislike button, and that's the only outlet people have to express their frustration. And now the comments are just filled of, this is terrible. And that's why I think necessarily, I understand the intention, but I don't think it's the right idea. I feel like the dislike button, it's okay, keep it there. But I do understand why people, they want to do it, because people probably obsess over it. Like their videos like to dislike ratio. When you're a big creator and probably like you put out a video and it drops, it might not be as well received, and you can see that immediately.
I guess we'll see what happens.
But yeah. And then I have got an am I the a-hole?
Are you the a-hole? I think we've discovered you are the a-hole.
Not me. So, am I the a-hole for not letting my best friend have her wedding on my property after being uninvited? One of my, and this person's 29 and a man, his best friend Carla, who's 31 and female, is getting married soon. It's only meant to be a small backyard type of wedding, but they've been planning it for months now, and originally it was supposed to be on my property. They wanted it because it's private, has lots of open space for the reception and a nice view, and the house could be used for them to get ready and stuff. So, of course, I said yes. She and her fiance Rick were very happy. Thing is, Carla and I do have a history. We went out on and off in college, but decided to stay friends. Then I met my wife, we got married, Carla met Rick, and now here they are. Now my wife knows I went out with Carla back in college, and she didn't care. Carla still went to our wedding and everything. I never knew Rick. If Rick was told or not, it's not my relationship, therefore not my business to say anything, so I never did. Rick found out recently, and not in the best way. Not sure how, but from what I heard from his friends, one mutual friend told him, no idea why. Not only that, but apparently Carla said a couple of years ago she was still in love with me when she was already dating Rick. Don't have actual confirmation of this exactly, but that's what he was told, the mutual friend. All Carla's told me is that Rick was told about our past, and he's angry at her for never saying anything. It became quite a drama, and didn't hear from her for over a month until now. She told me they're going to couples counselling and that the wedding is still on, but Rick requested that I not attend.
In his own house.
It sucks, but I totally get why he wouldn't be comfortable. So I asked the obvious question, where are you going to hold the wedding then? To my surprise, she said they still want it at our place. Rick said he wanted it there as well, and in my mind I'm going, he doesn't want the guy who dated his fiancée years ago at the wedding, but he still wants the wedding at his house. My wife and I are expected to adjust, not be at our home that weekend. And I told Carla no, they're going to have to find someplace else, since we're not going to simply leave our home for them for the weekend. Not only for safety reasons, but it just doesn't make sense. Rick doesn't want me around because he's not comfortable, but is comfortable enough to have their wedding at my house. They really want their wedding here, though, and because of that, I've been bugged by not only her, but also Rick and some friends who think I'm pretty much an a-hole for not allowing them to have the wedding at his house. Honestly, I don't think that I am. It just doesn't make sense at all for me to leave my own house for the wedding. So, is he the a-hole?
Yes and no. Like, I feel like I would have totally said the same thing. Like, I don't understand, like, where would you like me to go for those 2 days? You want to have the wedding here, but you don't want me to be here. Now I'm supposed to make sure my house looks crystal clean, everything's set up, your guests are all nice, but I'm not supposed to be there. Like, that don't make no type of sense to me. But I get it from their point of view, because, like, they've been planning the wedding for months. So if they don't have a venue for the wedding, that means they're going to have to postpone the wedding altogether, because to find a new venue, unless you're going to do it at a beach, is going to be difficult.
So my vote is also, I don't think he's the a-hole. From my recollection, it was quite a long one. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't make any advances to Carla. He just offered her his place. They had a history. That's not through fault of his own. And it's not his fault that Rick found out in that way. Carla should have been responsible for telling Rick.
Yeah.
He's let them use his house. Fair enough. If you want to use my house, then I am going to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm not an a-hole for saying, "Oh, if you don't want me there, then you can't use my house."
Mhm.
What, do I have mug written on my forehead?
Do you feel like she should have told him?
What? Yes. Especially if you're gonna have the wedding at this guy's house, you would have been nice to clue your fiance or soon-to-be husband.
But they've obviously been together for quite a bit of time now. But before they made the decision to have the wedding at his house.
You don't put people that you care about in a situation where they could look silly, and where everyone knows the backstory and they don't know, and they're just walking around like Bobo the Fool.
Yeah.
Like don't put them in that situation. If you're just tell him, you should have told him when you probably brought up, how about let's use this guy's place for the house.
No, I don't think that was if she was going to tell him, it would have been at the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah, she should have told him at the beginning. But I'm saying at least you should have told him. At least you should have told him when you were bringing this up.
No, I feel like she should have either just not whoever suggested it. I feel like she should have been like, oh no, I don't think that's a good idea, or she should have already been told him this.
No, but I don't agree with the second
obviously
part.
All four of them have obviously been together in social settings and like.
So you just saying, oh, if you didn't tell him, just continue lying. I don't think that's good either, because
you should have already told him.
I'll be honest. I think then you're just building off your relationship with mistrust, and then when it's something as it did with a mutual friend.
No, because it's like why are you only telling me now?
No, it's not why you only telling me now. At least tell me and give me the opportunity to make my own decision.
No, because my they're gonna argue about it, right?
Yeah.
And my thing is like, if you're only just telling me now, the argument is not gonna be, oh, the information that you told me is gonna be on why you just letting me know. Why are you just letting me know this now? Because you've been making me walk around like Boo Boo the Fool. Everyone is in on the secret.
So you would rather not know?
Yeah, don't tell me.
Okay, personally, I'm tell me. Yes, my feelings might be hurt, but tell me. I would rather be told than be lied to. I cannot play the fool. Like, just tell me. I feel like you'd be taking advantage of me if you knew, and then you knew you should have told me, and then other people know, and there's possibility that I might find out. Just grow the cojones and say it. You didn't grow the cojones.
But that's why you should have told me at the very beginning.
You should have. Why. But the matter of the fact is, Carla can't rewind time. She's at this point now where when she wanted to use this guy's venue as a wedding.
Yeah, that she shouldn't have used him.
But I'm saying I think that way, that
because
method
how do you build? So how do you bring up this conversation?
You tell the truth the same way.
You've been together for 5 years. Like how do you bring up this conversation?
The same way,
babes.
The same.
By the way.
But that's similar. Like, let's say that she cheated on him, and it's like, oh well, I didn't tell him then because we were madly in love and it was a mistake. And now that we're gonna get married, I shouldn't tell him now because, well, that's just, how do I bring it up? That's just going to ruin the flow. It's like, no, like, give the other person the chance to make a decision for themselves. And that's what I think personally. I wouldn't want to be lied to and just led along.
No, I understand I understand his point of view. Like, oh, I would have wanted to know, but I'm saying, like, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a very awkward conversation.
But I think if they're grown-ups and they're entering a union for life, they should be willing to have these conversations.
I feel like it's an awkward conversation to have. You should have had it at the start of you should have had it when it happened, because now to me it's gonna be like, why are you just bringing this up to me now? But like, there's other so all these years, were you doing stuff behind my back? Do you actually have feelings for him?
But I think then you deserve that.
There's going to be other questions. And so I understand it from like the person who is being lied to. Like, I understand your perspective. Like, oh yeah. I feel like, at this point, it's going to bring more problems than it will solve any.
If I have got something to tell you, are you saying that if I think it's going to upset you and it's going to be awkward to bring up, I should just hide it from you for the rest of your life?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just arguing it from a different perspective.
I understand why she did what she did, but I think that it was the wrong decision to do. You can argue it from that perspective, but either way, I think if the shoe was flipped, she would have wanted to know, or maybe she wouldn't have. But at the end of the day,
I'm saying that I would have preferred to know at the beginning.
Yeah, everyone would.
Because now you're bringing it up like after we're engaged and stuff. Like I feel like there's other questions that I would want answered. Like
then I've got a question for you.
I feel like the reason you didn't tell me that is because you were doing other things behind my back. You didn't want me to know that was part of your personality kind of thing.
Okay, then I've got a question for you. If you prefer to know at the beginning, like this situation, you don't know at the beginning, and then now, whilst you're engaged or about to be married, the person feels they need to tell you, what do you want them to do then with that information? Do you want them to... So they have the secret like this.
Yeah.
That they should have told you at the beginning. They didn't.
Yeah.
And now you're at the point where you're at this point. Do you want them to tell you, or do you want them to just lie to you?
No, you can tell me if you feel like that is the point.
Do you want them to tell you is what I'm asking.
Yes, but it might bring up more problems now that you're telling me than it would have if you told me at the beginning.
Oh,
does that make sense? That's what my point is. That's
absolutely fine, and I think that's right. It probably will bring up like security and trust problems, but I think the person who hid the information, that's the repercussion. That's the repercussion of that. You're gonna have to build trust again, and hiding it. And the longer that you hide something, the worse it makes it when you eventually say it. And in this situation, what's made it worse is that she didn't even have the cojones to go and say it.
It was probably someone drunk.
He found out through someone else.
Yeah, it was probably someone drunk who was like, "Oh yeah, your girlfriend," and he's like, and that makes it worse.
That's why I'm saying, like, yes, you should have told them at the beginning, but if you haven't told them at the beginning, it's never too late to tell them. And don't take I'm just gonna spare the feelings by not saying it because I don't want to avoid.
Is it never too late?
I'd say it.
What if it was a person that they no longer speak to anymore?
But what I'm saying is, if there's gonna be any chance, if you've had this conversation and you, as you said, omitted information, that's paramount to lying to me. Like if we're having a conversation about something, you then tell the truth. Don't say, oh well, I'm just gonna tell the half truth, and if I don't mention it, then technically I'm not lying. Because that is still lying, and that's still distrustful. What she should have done is just say it at the beginning, but she didn't say it at the beginning. And although it's going to be an awkward conversation, have that awkward conversation, because at least when you have that, then both people can decide where they stand. Give people the chance to make decisions for themselves, and don't make decisions for both of you, because that's what she'd done up until that point. And when he found out, he still wanted to marry her, but he was just annoyed. But if you had this convo in the beginning, you would have been annoyed, or you wouldn't even have been annoyed. You would have just been like, oh, okay. This is your ex. But now she made it worse.
Probably he would have been like, yeah, I don't want you around him.
Yeah, this is true. Is he the a-hole for not inviting?
No, she's the a-hole for not telling.
Yeah, I think she's the a-hole. I don't think he's the a-hole for being like, no invite, no wedding. That's fair. It's his property. He can choose to. I don't think he's the a-hole, but she is definitely the a-hole for withholding information. And he still wants to get married to her, but I think she's got some questions and some answering to do. Rightfully so.
Well, that's been it, and that's been us from the Gift of the Gab. Let us know who you think is the real a-hole in this conversation. Well, not conversation, in the story.
Yes, in this scenario.
Is it the husband? Is it the friend? Is it the girlfriend?
Yes. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend to
tell a friend.
And that's been us. Ciao.